Hi, so this is a look that I'm going to do for you today. It's kind of a trend but a classic at the same time. So contoured eyes, liner, contoured cheeks with quite a full red lip. Okay, so here goes. I'll start with the skin. This is me barefaced in case you didn't realise. I'm sure you do realise. Okay, so I'm just going to start by popping a little bit of MAC Prep and Prime, and I'm just going to start by smoothing this into my skin very lightly because it's supposed to be just a nice film rather than actually rubbed in. And what that helps to do is it helps to keep your foundation in place, but it also fills in any fine lines or pores. Okay, there we go. Right, so because I'm still using my Studio Fix fluid, I'm just going to spray my face, as I mentioned yesterday, with my Fix Plus. And this just helps to set the foundation and also give it a little bit more movement so that I can blend it in a bit more easily. Okay, so spritz, and then start by applying a little bit of the foundation. Okay, so I do want quite good coverage for this look because I want it to be quite classical. So I'll just start by applying a little bit straight with the buffing brush. Like so. I just think it looks quite unusual when people are applying a foundation because it looks as though they're doing it quite rough. I'm probably doing it quite a bit more rough than I normally do it, but it kind of has to be that way if I'm really buffing the foundation in. Obviously this one can set, so I just want to make sure that it's covered. Quite a good flawless look. Some more funny faces for you today. Okay, so that's the foundation buffed in. Just pop a little bit over my eyes. Okay. That's what we're going to get there. Okay, so next I usually do just pop a little bit of concealer on, and I'm going to use, to buff the foundation in, I used the Prescriptives buff brush that I used on the previous video. So to apply the concealer, I'm just going to use a MAC 224 brush, which I think originally was supposed to be a blending brush, which it still is, but it does blend concealer in quite well, so it looks like that. And I'm just going to, now then this will just show you how nice these are. This is my Illamasqua concealer, which is good for covering pretty much anything. It's quite heavy consistency. So inside, because I don't like to just pop the brush in, I usually take a little bit out and pop it on the back of my hand to melt it. It looks like this, which isn't the best. Which is a shame really, because these are really pretty and they've got little mirrors in the top, look. Couldn't quite tell you the colour of this one either, because the one problem with the Illamasqua makeup packaging is that you lose the colours on. Don't really know why. Okay, so I've got a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to take my brush and pop it in there. Well, now it's warmed up a little bit, and I'm not going to do this under the eyes because I might need to clean up that afterwards, but I'm just going to start by concealing anywhere that just needs a little bit of extra coverage. Now, on me at the moment, that's quite a few, unfortunately. I wanted to wait till my skin had cleared up a bit, but not enough time for that. Just blend it quite lightly. Okay. So other than under my eyes, which is what I said I would do, I think that's all I need to do for now. Okay. So the next for me is usually brows. You can do these after. I just prefer to do them now because then I know the shape that I'm working towards, and obviously the eyes play a big part for me in this, so I'm just going to brush those up. I'm just using a mascara wand. It's just one of my disposable ones, but you can just use an old one that's been cleaned, and I just use this to groom through my brows. Lift them up a little bit, like so. And as you can see, which will be different from the other video, I don't really have any eyebrows. Well, I do, but they're very fair, which is odd because I'm naturally dark haired. Although this is dyed because I've been blonde for as long as I can remember. So I'm just going to start by filling in my brows a little bit. And I said I did want it quite a classical look, but I just need to add a little bit more definition into my brows and give them that lovely elegant arch. So I'm just going to use Mystery by MAC with a little bit of Omega. I keep going back to the Omega because that's the colour I always used when I was blonde, but it just helps to tone down the Mystery a little bit because it's quite deep. So I'll just come a bit closer so that you can see. Okay, so this is how I normally fill in the brows. So I just start by getting the shape in at the bottom, like so. Take a bit more, and then the shape at the top. That's it. So now I've got the lines there that I need, I can just work on that. And I've left the front part quite bare at the moment, I don't really want to fill all that in. And I can go back to that after. Okay, so with whatever I've got left, I'm just going to take a little bit off on the back of my hand and just run that through this part here. But I don't want to block the shape off, it's just to even it out a little bit more. And then I'll just go through it again with the clean mascara one just to blend all that back in. So I want it to look quite elegant but not drawn in, and I just find that it's easier to achieve that with powder. And I'm using my Ruby & Millie Eye Definer short brush again, the one with the slight angle on. And I'll just go in and do the other one. My lovely eyebrow that always plays up. Start off by doing the underneath line, and then the top one. Like so. It's kind of a little trick here. Try not to raise your eyebrows while you're colouring them in whichever way you're going to use with a pencil or powder, because it's very easy to start doing this. See? And if you do that, you tend to find that one of them lifts a bit higher than the other, or you move them slightly differently and then they're not even. So I'm just going to try and relax those. Bring that through. I'm sorry if you can hear little footsteps. I've got two little cats in here. They like my room. It's the only girly room we have in the house because there's my husband and my two little boys, and this is my only room that's kind of pink. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you later. Pink makeup room just for girls and cats. Female cats, of course. Okay, so kind of as even as I can get it while I'm doing it on here, and I'll just run through it again just to give that the shape. There we go. Still might not be overly even, still having fun with that one at the moment. However, I shall carry on. Okay, so now I've done that part, I'm just going to prime my eyelid with some primer potion. So this is just a little one I got here with the Naked palette, which I'm sure I'll end up using at some point. So I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand for now, and I'm just going to rub that, or pat it into the eye, round this part here, because I tend to put a little bit of colour there, and then eye up here. But the majority goes on the lid, like so. Okay. Right, so next I'm just going to take this is kind of like a flat brush really. I don't know if it's a MAC one or not, I can't remember, but it's just a flat eyeshadow applicating brush, you see? And I'm just going to take some of this one here, you can see, and that one is Naked Lunch by MAC, a new favourite for during the day. Okay, so I'll just come in a bit closer. I'm just going to start by pressing that down, and this brush is good because it kind of helps to pack the colour on. And you can do it with any eyeshadow brush really, as long as you're pressing down and packing the colour on into the corner, because I do want to get quite a nice shine on this one here, because I'm going to use matte colours in the contour. Another noise you might be able to hear is my little boy in the other room, just woken up. Okay, press that in there. Right, so next, I'm just going to take a MAC 217 and use this time this one here, which is Wedge by MAC. And this is just, don't do that, off. Okay, I have 2 indoor cats, and I've got a lovely dressing table over here, and they like to scratch it, and it's just not good. Okay, right, so a little bit of the wedge in the top of the brush, and I'm just going to apply this here. Okay, so take a little bit off. And this is literally just going in the crease, because this look is more about contouring than colour. And for this you can really just use any colour that is or similar to your natural shade colour. So the natural shade that you have in your face, so wherever the light falls, you can use anything like that. Or there's lots of contour palettes out at the moment with matte highlighters or shimmery highlighters with a matte contour colour. And all this does really is it creates, on the lid here, it's bringing the lid out because it's light, and it's also got quite a sheen on it. And then I'm setting back the crease here. Now I don't really have a big crease, I've got more space from here to use, so I have to be careful not to go over the lid too much and just do it here. And I just keep going back in and in. I just move my hand back a little bit so that I can blend it a little bit more softly. And that's going like so.